Management CIO Young Ma. Have you changed your view on where the economy is headed? Because it feels like that's what the market is doing right now.
Great to be here, Sarah. It does look like that's what the market is doing. We haven't changed our broad view. We think we could be in for a soft few months, maybe even a couple of quarters, but the underlying fundamentals continue to look healthy. And to the extent there is downward momentum or the potential for downward momentum, we think that's actually all interest rate driven. And the Fed has complete ability to reverse that, given that interest rates are very restrictive now and given how far inflation has come down. So the Fed is probably finding itself a bit behind the curve, but it can rectify that pretty quickly here.
With a 3.8% yield right now on the 10-year, quite a steep drop this week. Is that telling you the fundamentals are healthy?
Well, we think the underlying fundamentals are healthy, even if that's what the knee-jerk market reaction is today. We don't see major imbalances either for the consumer sector or the corporate sector, which would lead to downside momentum. But certainly the market is pricing in some softness. We think we will see softness. We just don't think that softness will accelerate to the downside. We think we'll level off after a few months or maybe a couple quarters.
So with that optimism, then where would you be a buyer today in the wreck that we have? And would you go into small caps, which were, so popular just a week ago and have really fallen apart on some of this economic weakness?
We would look for buying opportunities. I think someone with cash on the sidelines probably wants to think about scaling into the market here. We'll probably see continued volatility, probably all the way up to the election. We have a confluence right now of both economic uncertainty and political uncertainty. So those two things combined certainly will cause some pause in the market or choppiness or pullback as we're seeing today. But we do think it's time to look for opportunities over the coming months because they will appear. And in terms of small caps, that's an interesting question. There was a big run a few weeks ago. We do think there's a prospect for a continued trade rotation into small caps. But I think it's also one of those things where you want to pick your spots and look for opportunities and not get too aggressive here early on until you see better prices.
What about, so is